Hello and welcome back to Fatal 12. On the last episode, there was a fight between Alan and Odette. Surprisingly, we managed to leave unscathed, and with a potential and temporary no ally. We now work with, or at least for now, work with Alan, who is agreed to be a bodyguard for Shigetsugu and participant number 4, who we still don't know the name of. Only until until Shigetsugu is eliminated. So I guess basically just for the remainder of the week. With that, it's pretty much time to continue, I guess. So may as well. She sets it up so everyone thinks we've had a falling out. But at this rate, I might end up spilling the beans on that and more. Setting that aside, I'm surprised he agreed on Shigetsugu's terms so quick. Assuming what he said is true, then it isn't just because he sees value in doing so. There's more to it. He let his emotions take the wheel, from what I can tell. Not like I'll ever say that to his face. They took their time getting back. Huh? Footsteps from the entrance. Feel free to check, if you want. I have no intention of breaking my promise, so I will remain here. He's right, I hear noises coming from the entrance. I make my way over to welcome them back. 5 or so minutes after he began his search, Shigetsugu found the person he was looking for on his way back home. So this is where you went, you. So we finally have a name. It's hard to run away. It's hard to run away when you don't have any memories of other places to go. Shigetsugu referred to number 4 as you, but that wasn't his real name. It was the name Shigetsugu gave the boy upon their first encounter. Do you hate me now? Of course not. Why are you okay with getting eliminated? You know you'll die, right? You know that I'll be alone, right? Is it because we're not a real family? Even real families aren't guaranteed to stay together forever, I'm afraid. He cast a solemn gaze upon the night sky as he spoke. Having lost his wife far too soon, Shigetsugu spent his days battling loneliness. Meanwhile, his son got married soon after graduating college and getting hired into a financing company. I mean, it sounds like his son's doing alright, I guess. Shigetsugu got along with his daughter-in-law at first. Things changed when she became pregnant. Perhaps it was more accurate to say that Shigetsugu changed. Knowing the baby was on the way, both made the decision to move out. Shigetsugu's son was gradually moving up the corporate ladder, so it felt like the right time to go. And that was when Shigetsugu's battle with loneliness reached its zenith. The stress it caused him led to the outburst of violence. His attitude took a dramatic turn, and he became stubborn over the most minor of things. He would complain about his daughter-in-law's cooking for no reason. His actions eventually led to their hastened departure from Shigetsugu's home. The loneliness and self-hatred that followed changed him even more. They did get back in touch years later, but nothing came of it. Shigetsugu's issues eventually led him to gambling, which led him to a means of he uses a means to distract himself. This in turn led him to racking up more and more debt to the point that it almost affected his son's family. It was then that they cut off all ties with him. Years later, he visited their home only to find out no one was living there. They had just up and vanished. Perhaps they thought the exact same about Shigetsugu, considering how little contact he made with the outside world. Alright, you told me what happened. That was all on me in the end, but you opted to stay with me even after hearing my story. You may have had nowhere else to go, but it's clear you weren't hoping to use me for your own interests. Interests? I don't know what that means, but sure, I'm staying with you because I like being with you. I like going to see the horses and boats and all that stuff too. But the biggest reason that is that you gave me somewhere to belong. I don't know why my brain just didn't add up on long to belong. Just being here helps keep my mind off my own amnesia. Over a month has passed since the divine selection began. Both Shigetsugu and you have spent the majority of that time together. To others, their relationship may be fundamentally flawed. To Shigetsugu, however, their relationship is that of a true family. No matter what the others may think, you are family to me. Same here. You're my one and only family. There was no preface to his statement. For you, the present took precedence over his lost memories. His words were proof of that. But it doesn't change the reality that I will die, though. You young'uns may have had your lives cut short by one of fate's pranks, but it isn't true for me. Even if my back hadn't given out that day, I didn't have much time left. That's why the only thing I desired is to spend as much time with you as possible. A simple desire, but one I can't compare to that of younger people giving it their all to survive. I don't know what you mean, Shigetsugu. This stuff is too complicated for me. What I'm saying is that it's up to you to decide how you live your life from here on. It's up to me? Indeed. If you have even the slightest desire to live, then do everything you can to make it through the divine selection. If you lack that desire, then I won't stop you. You can't make me choose like that. I'm afraid you have no choice. My elimination is a matter of days away. I don't wanna lose you. He was growing more upset as the conversation carried on. Shigetsugu, on the other hand, remained as calm as ever. Naming you may have been a mistake when I think about it. I'm not sure if your amnesia had any effect on the outcome, but I never expected a card to form from my doing so. Not knowing the contents of your own cards was your greatest assets, and yet my actions ruined it. No, they didn't. They made me happy. You gave me a name I couldn't remember my own. When I couldn't remember my own. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. In that case, I only have one wish for you. I won't tell you to press on and live if that's not what you want. However, I do want you to understand the joy of providing something for another. Much like how he had given you his name. Not only a name, but a place to call home. I'll be able to pass something on that I received from you too. Have I given you something? I don't remember doing that. You have. I don't get it. I'm trying to understand, but I just can't. Work towards understanding it then. Once you do, you'll be able to understand the share in my joy. Shigetsugu rested a hand on Shu's head before patting it. His words and actions were cheerful despite the context of the conversation. Meanwhile, Yu was unable to find his answer. He had not accepted his reality. At the same time, the state of his mind made him all the more susceptible to what Shigetsugu had said or had to say. So eventually, he came to understand what was about to transpire. Shigetsugu was going to die. There was absolutely nothing he could do about it. I happened to overhear their conversation. I don't intend to, but there's no excuse. I don't catch the entire thing, but one important detail doesn't slip by me. You. The moment Shigetsugu recalled them all that, my book began to glow. The resulting card contains nothing but those two letters. I'm glad Alan was nearby when it happened. Things only get more complicated if any of them learn I now know his name. You. I repeat the name to myself. I figured that Shigetsugu had given him a name, but I never expected that name to be the one on his card. This would have been far more difficult to believe if I hadn't had that conversation with Mikiaru about one's perception on one's name. So, okay, so you believes that's his name since he has no memories. Therefore, it is his name because he's got nothing to say otherwise. What did Shigetsugu have in mind when giving him that name, though? Surely, there's some meaning behind it. It's his son's name, right? Doesn't matter. I somehow ended up with all three of Yu's cards. But I don't have it in me to elect either of them now. If Alan elects Shigetsugu's, logic dictates that I elect you. I try my best to convince myself that what I need to do. But it's not that easy. Oh, I'm just thinking because if we eliminate you, Shigetsugu's gonna hate us. And if we let Alan die, no, if we let Alan elect Shigetsugu, we do have a fighter on our team, but we lose Alan. So it's either we keep Alan or we keep you. We make our way back to the living room after I meet them at the entrance. Another conversation starts up once we've all gathered, but it dies off pretty fast. Apologies for the wait. I've said my piece already, so it's fine. Give me a room and I'm satisfied. No need to worry, I'll do just that. Yu still isn't happy about the scenario, but regardless, the conversation is over. Knowing that, I decide to make my way back home, albeit far later than planned. Number 11 might have her eyes on you as well. Yeah, although she'll probably target me first, settling the score tends to take priority for people like her. I'm not the only participant here she'd want to do so with, of course, but there's no need to be concerned. I plan to keep my end of the bargain. I am so stunned by his apparent concern for me that I struggle to find a way to respond. What is with this guy? First he threatens to kill a baby without hesitation, and then he agrees to Shigetsugu's terms that don't entirely benefit him. To top it all off, now he's worrying about my safety? Goodbye and thanks for dinner. I don't think I'll ever forget how delicious it was. It's funny you say that, amnesia child. Thanks. There'll be some left, so go ahead and heat it up when you're hungry. Allow me to see you off. We then make our way out of the living room. Do we talk about Shigetsugu stuff? You didn't need to leave the house with me. Now I feel bad. Shigetsugu follows me outside rather than seeing me off at the entrance. It's incumbent for us to be alone together, so I take this chance to clear my doubts. Can I ask what the plans are for you if you get eliminated? That's quite a naughty habit you have there. Sorry. You did that on purpose. You gave him that name, didn't you? I did. He may be a kind child, but he's also a courageous one. The pronunciation of you sounds both Japanese and foreign, doesn't it? No. Must admit that I never expected a card to result from it. This is a speculation on my part, but it seems like each participant's own personal perception holds a sizable influence over their cards. See, allow me to answer your question though. I nod my head, urging him to continue. I have around 1 million yen stowed away for him to use as he sees fit. My first reaction is to look around after recovering from my own shock. I'm worried about any lurking burglars overhearing him. But I guess anyone sneaking into the house is far more dangerous than those already inside. Is that what it said? Is in far more danger than anyone already inside. That should be plenty to get him through the remaining 2 months of this divine selection. It's not my place to dictate what he does afterwards, but if his memories return, then he should have enough to return home, assuming he doesn't spend it all first, of course. How did you make that much money? Gambling? There were plenty of ways to do so. I gathered up as much as I could find in the house and sold off anything of value. For one, he mentioned that before his pension and benefits were the only sources of income right now. He talked about being in debt as well, so I could only assume that he went through some shady dealings to gather up that amount. Knowing he did all that for you's sake makes it hard to judge him on that, though. It was pretty difficult, I'll tell you, especially when they froze my bank account and I already used up my savings. You saw how messy the house is, no? I turned the place upside down looking for things to sell, and I couldn't find it in me to clean it back up afterwards. That explains things. I slapped both my hands over my mouth before I realized what I was about to say. It might be the truth, but it's still rude to say such a thing out loud. Oh, don't worry about it. Regardless, there's no need for you to concern yourself about him, or to be concerned about him. He lets out a heartfelt. I don't know why I'm adding an ED to that. He left out a heartfelt laugh. I can't find humor in it though, so I just nod. Well then, I guess I'll see you again in the dream world. Yeah, thanks for everything. Come now, I should be the one thanking you. He shuffles back into the house. That's how it should be. Things are looking good for me right now. Even so, I make my way home with a knot in my heart. Family, huh? When I get back to my room, my mind drums up the image of Shigetsugu and you. Shigetsugu talked about the joy of providing something for another. Was I able to do that for Keiko? Was I able to do that for Sonia, even? Shigetsugu's elimination during the next election is all but guaranteed. Was I able to provide something for him, knowing that would happen? I heard him out and made dinner for you. There's no need to involve myself for any of the participants further than this, and yet I find myself worried and waking up on Monday, plagued with regret. Screw this. I figure it's best off acting instead of worrying, so I make my way to the computer. Is that our regret, that we couldn't save everyone? Thus, it's Friday, so we still have 3 days. Thus, another day of school rolls by. I stayed up late last night doing research, so I'm still a bit tired. And wouldn't you know it, I checked my calendar. It's June already. I'm already nostalgic about the time that we went to the amusement park. That was a year ago? Can't be. Once my surprise fades, I'm ready to head to school. Once there, I find myself talking to the usual group. Morning. You two decide what you're going to do for the culture festival yet? Sorry, helps if I say things properly. Well, I mean, they already settled me on helping out for an hour on both Saturday and Sunday, right? I've been forced into it as well. Talking to these two really helps to hammer home I'm back to my typical daily life. The Culture Festival's next weekend. So a week after Shigetsugu's passing. My class has finally decided to go with the fortune teller booth idea. I'm a bit worried about it, since they've decided with hardly a month to spare. But it should be fine, since there's nothing too difficult to prepare. None of us are playing a big part in it, but we do need to help out because it's a class effort. And said help comes in a form of 1-hour shifts on both Saturday and Sunday, it seems. At least it's only an hour. I mean, you just sit at the booth for an hour. That'll fly by. Especially if you only get like one customer, maybe. Not what I mean. I'm asking if you're going to spend the rest of the time. How are you going to spend the rest of your time? Okay. I kind of want to check out the cafe that Naomi's class is running. Oh, class, huh? Not like you gotta tag along, Wrong. Wherever Rinka goes, I follow. Spending time with Naomi should be fine as long as it's while we're at school. You couldn't be any more obvious, could you? It just screams, future diary. She's been working hard for this, so I want to see how it turns out. You got any plans now? Nope. Figures. I'm not interested in what the others are doing, so I booked a morning shift. We're allowed to go home, so as long as we're at school when we need to be, I may as well. Might do the same. Don't particularly care about anything else. Aw, you two suck. Ignoring Mao's attempt to tease us, we start to trudge over to the cafeteria. Okay, see ya. And with that, Mao skips out of the classroom. Looks like she'll be heading home in a hurry today. I'm not sure why she generally keeps that aspect of her life to herself. Still, she tends to be busy more often than not. Not like she's in any clubs either. I can only assume that she's got a part-time job or something. Miharu is getting ready to head home herself. Seems like she's working a shift today. Hold on. Let's save, obviously. We always save. But the plan is to make it look like we've had a falling out, right? So, we go home alone. Therefore, no one catches us working together. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Mira set things up so that our other participants think we had a falling out. Knowing that, we run the risk of them realizing it's a ruse if we're caught together. That's why I make my way home alone after saying goodbye to her. Thankfully, the game understands where I was heading. Yesterday was a rare day. I was able to open up the store for once. Yeah, I'm still not used to, obviously, other cultures having school days during the weekend. Customers dwindle during holiday periods, but regulars are in the area still tend to drop by. I'm glad most of them understand that my grand's away, so they make it a point to cheer me on rather than criticize my efforts. Yo, Rennie, want to go somewhere this week after the culture festival? Mel comes over to chat with us. I'm getting ready to head home. Isn't that still... It's like 3 weeks from now. We got this weekend, the culture festival weekend, and then that's the weekend we have to... The weekend after is the one that you're asking about? Sure, got some place in mind? Not yet. Could always go see a movie or hit up a karaoke. She grins as she notices my hesitation. Come on, don't deny me the pleasure of watching your sheepish singing, Rennie. I'd very much like you to deny that. Sorry, I'll do that better. I'd very much like to deny you that. We haven't been to a karaoke with Norin yet, have we? It'd be good timing, let's do that. Let's do it. But that girl's got a killer voice. Don't know what she'd sing, but the quiet types are always surprisingly good at singing. That seems to be the trope. The only curveball that is Miharu and her job. But whatever, things will sort themselves out. She prowls on and on without giving me a chance to speak. I'm all too aware that this is her way of making sure I can't turn her down. I'm pretty curious about what Naomi would try and sing, so I end up agreeing. Yes, just make sure to keep Saturday open after the Saturday after next open. Sure. The Saturday after next would be the 16th. 2 more elections stand between now and then. Should I be fine for this week's? Should I be fine for this week's, but who knows about next week's? That's not the mindset I should have, though. My utmost priority is making sure I never get elected. Ready? I apologize for getting lost in thought, but before we make our way to class. I mean, I would imagine... yeah, because we're all getting more and more choices every now and then. But I would imagine we should start getting choices like, do you want to elect? Okay, and then like each week, and run the risk of obviously getting elected as well. But yeah. Anyway, after spending some time in Shinjuku, I find my way waiting for the train. I realized that it's been a while since the last time I went to the bookstore, so I decided to stop by before heading home. There's a fair number of new shoujo mangas on sale, so I buy a couple to try. Oh, Rinka. As it happens, Naomi's already there, waiting for the same train. She even has the same bag in hand as me, which means we're both at the same store. After discussing what we both bought, Naomi's expression got a bit more serious as she changed the topic. How did things go with the child, if I may ask? She must mean you. It's funny thinking back to the first encounter. Not only did I not know his name, I actually thought he was a girl. How much should I tell Naomi, though? I can't give her all the details like I did with Miharu. Miharu's warning comes to mind as I mull it over. Let's just say things worked out. Okay. Sorry. The exchange is brief, but it no doubt leaves Naomi a tad vexed. If I'm not going to tell her everything, then I'm better off not saying anything at all. Her pained expression tells me exactly how the current situation makes her feel. Doing this to her hurts me enough already. But she must feel even worse on the receiving end. That's why I try my best to change the topic. Is something wrong? As soon as I do, I notice a familiar figure amongst the crowd. Not wanting Naomi to notice, I keep my gaze on her, only resorting to quick glances to make sure I'm right. I am. It's you. He stands in the crowd, waiting for someone. What I mean, it's a very limited pool of people he could be waiting for. He tries to seem nonchalant, but I notice him glancing over to me every now and then. Oh, sorry. I forgot to pick something up at the cafe. Go on back without me. Oh, I don't mind joining you. Nah, it's fine. I'm sure you're tired from all the preparations for the culture festival, so I say go and get some rest. She nods, although it's obvious that she has to read between the lines. Following that, I wave goodbye and she gets on the train. Hugh makes his way over to me after confirming that I'm alone. Rinka. He probably realized that I saw him. I need to ask you a favor. He gets right to the chase. Are you going to say to eliminate him? I have to quietly hear him out. I want to help Shigetsugu see his family again, but I need you to help. I need you to help me figure out where they are. Shigetsugu said he's already given up, but it's obvious that he wanted to see them again for a long time. I'm the only one who could convince him, but I couldn't bring myself to say anything. It just frustrates me so much. I spent so much time till now trying to figure out what I should do, trying to figure out the right answer. Though it was tough, but now I know. Things can't go on like this. We'll both regret it if they do. He lets his emotions run rampant despite being out in public. There's nothing I can do to stop him either. Once he finishes his spiel, he stares at me, worry all over his face. I can't blame him. Normally people wouldn't hear him out, but he's probably hoping for the slight possibility that I will. I don't know where they are. Shigetsugu probably won't tell me either. There's no way I could ask Aaron, aka Alan, so you're the only one I can rely on. Please. He's probably expecting me to turn him down based on my silence. I don't seem to be in the right state of mind. His desperation to help Shigetsugu serves to warm my heart. As does knowing we both thought the same thing. They moved away due to son getting transferred to another branch of this company, so finding out which prefecture they were is pretty easy. Calling them and pretending to be another department worked out well. I've been brushing up on my acting skills ever since Divine Selection started, so I was able to nail down the city right there that they're in. Yeah. But the rest is up to you. Just ask around the neighborhood and find out which house is theirs. Guess I can give you money for the what? For the Shinkansen and lodging for the night. I gotta keep it a secret from my gran, but it'll be fine as long as you pay me back. What's happening right now? If you're not taking Shigetsugu with you, then you'll just have to convince his family to come and see him instead. I won't help you out more than this, but I want you to trust yourself. I think that's a good place to call it there, to be fair. With a message of trusting yourself. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully I can see you in the next one, and with that, goodbye.